Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah beginning today, the Torah portion Va'era. My studio is a little different today. I'm at home visiting with my mom, and the video is a little different. The audio is probably a little different. We'll work with it for today. Last week we ended the Torah portion with Moshe asking Yahweh a question. Why have you done this evil to this people? Moshe believed that he had understood Yah and believed that he understood how things were supposed to go. But he is still struggling with the overall plan of how it is that Yah is going to do what he's going to do. Doesn't that sound so familiar? We believe that we know so much about the last days. We believe that we're living in the last days. We have this perspective of how everything is supposed to transpire. We see world upheaval, governments becoming more and more aggressive against us. Maybe we believe some of the Left Behind movie style things where everything is dictatorial, if I can say that. People are constantly oppressed. I don't know. I don't know how things are going to go. I know that his kingdom is coming. I believe that Yeshua, the Messiah, is going to live here with us on the earth and that he's going to reign on this earth for 1,000 years. But I'm like Moshe to some degree. I'm a little frustrated that it's taking the amount of time that it's taking. I want the kingdom to come in my day. I do not want my grandchildren growing up in a continually downward spiral of society. If things are as gross and evil as they are now, another 10, 20 years, it's unimaginable to me how much worse that it can become. But knowing that if man is left to his own devices, if we're left to a boundaryless society that we are now engaging, then it's not mere gender confusion. It's not gun or weapon violence against the innocent or the refusal of our government to allow us to defend ourselves. This is a major issue here in Virginia today, with a major rally taking place in our state capital. I don't want my children growing up in this. I don't want my grandkids seeing this. I don't want their children seeing this. It's much more pleasant for me to imagine that they're living with me in the kingdom where Yeshua has a reign of shalom in the earth. That's what I want. And I believe that Moshe wanted his people to be delivered. He didn't want to see them in chains, enslaving and making bricks and building Pharaoh's cities for his grandeur and glory. But he wanted the people to have an encounter such as he has just recently had with the creator of all the universe. Now Yah says, you're going to come out and you're going to worship me on this mountain. Yah has given them an understanding. I'm going to take them back to the land of promise. Moshe, you're the man. I've chosen you. Finally, he's heard the affirmation that he's been looking for 40 years. But the moment that he starts, the moment that he gives this the initial effort, it all falls apart. Pharaoh's not buying this grand scheme. His people are upset that their work and their labor has been made harder. And Moshe, out of great frustration, goes to Yah and says, you've not done anything but bring evil on this people. This misunderstanding of Yah's timing and the way that he's going to do it has already left at one point Moshe as a fugitive running for his life. He knows that I'm supposed to play a significant role. I don't understand why it's not working. I believe I've been called to be the deliverer. He knows what he knows, but how well does he know it? Let me ask that again. He knows what he knows, but how well, how clearly, how truthfully does he know what he knows? I guess that should cause us then to ask the question, how well do we know what we think we know? The truth that we have perceived and that we have applied to our lives at this point. The way that we have chosen to walk, even if it's diametrically opposed to what we previously understood. We've embraced it. We've applied it. We've fashioned our lives according to it. But how well do we know that this is the truth? When I first left the church pastorate and we began to walk in Hebraic roots understanding, my wife Laura, one of the first questions she asked, how do I know that some number of months or years down the road from this point, you're going to come back to me and say, we've missed him. This isn't the right thing we need to be doing. We need to do something different. How do we know? It's not knowing the facts and the figures. It's not knowing about the nuggets and the insights. It's knowing him. We cannot rely on knowing about him. We have to know him. It's not enough to go through the Torah portions and the feast days. It's not enough to congregate and to study together. We have to know him. We have to find that place where we know his voice, that we spent enough intimate time with him in worship and hearing him, that we've learned his heart. I'm afraid that in the Hebraic roots community that we have majorly focused on knowing the information. We want to understand line by line, insight by insight, nugget by nugget, who we believe he is as what he wants. There needs to come again for us the process of knowing who he is by knowing his heart. If we know what we think he wants, the next level of understanding with him is, why does he want this? What it is about his heart, his character, his persona, what it is about his passion that causes him to want what he's requiring of us. What is he trying to reveal to us about himself? In the book of Hebrews, we read a very famous verse, Hebrews 11:1. And we could quote it probably from the King James Version. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. The Orthodox Jewish Bible says this, now emunah is the substance of things for which we have tikvah, or hope. Emunah is the conviction of things not seen. The Aramaic English New Testament writes, now faith is the persuasion of the things that are in hope as if they were in actual fact, and it is the manifesting of the things not seen. Moshe is not the only reluctant prophet struggling to figure out what Yah's plan is and how he's going to do it. Jonah struggled. Why would you even care about Ninevites and want to see them born again and redeemed, saved from destruction and judgment? Yeshayahu struggled with who he was in the sight of the Most High. Couldn't understand what it was that he needed until Yah revealed himself in his extreme splendor and glory. Then he fell apart in his presence. Habakkuk says, I can't understand why you're using the unrighteous to be a scourge and a punishment toward your people, who he perceived to be the righteous. He said, I'm just going to stand here and see what it is that you would say to me about this. Job struggled to understand. And when Yah had finished revealing himself, he said, I put my hand over my mouth. I got nothing else to say. We need to know him. In this Torah series, as we pursue this week, let's find him. Let's learn him. And then we'll understand maybe what he's up to and why He wants what he wants. Until tomorrow, shalom.